All right, there you have it, everybody. The closing bell sounding on this Friday, June 12, 2009. The U.S. Army celebrating its 234th birthday at the big board. That's why you see them. There they go. Wow, that was a strong closing of the bell here. All right, everybody, pounding on the gavel. Take a look at the major equity averages up. S&P 500, 946.21. Yep, that's good enough for another weekly gain, so make it 4 consecutive weeks of gains for the S&P 500. The Dow Jones Industrial Average also getting a little bit of a spike here at the end, so a gain of about 1/3% at 8,800 even. And the Nasdaq, tough day for the Nasdaq, pretty much down throughout the day, but pairing some of those declines, but still down about 3.5 points here at the close at 1858. Talk about some of the groups here moving. Utilities and telecom, the biggest gainers on the day. In fact, those utility names up about 1.4%. And commodity-related stocks, just talking about that with Frank and also talking about really with many people throughout the last hour or so. Materials names down about 1.3%, and the energy names seeing some selling as oil dipped back, a decline of 1% for the equity plays. So definitely seeing the commodity names drag down the trade today. All right, now we did have, though, the S&P 500, just looking here at the charts, staging a little bit of a late-day rally. Suzanne O'Halloran at the New York Stock Exchange. So the S&P, we did see a gain for the week, right?
We did, Carol. It was very close. The S&P did close higher today, but again, close call, and as you mentioned, higher for the week, so that's a positive. The S&P closing out really at that 7-month high. We were able to maintain that, but it was a fairly volatile session in terms of the S&P really bounced back and forth between losses and gains in the last hour of trading, but for most of the session, the S&P actually was lower. Got to point out as well, volume is very light here. It's a summer Friday. We did hear Frank and Garo say it is one of those boring Fridays. However, we did have a lot of news here, even though volume was light. Some headwinds, of course, the sell-off in commodities was a big theme today. Energy material stocks were among your weaker performers, and that really kept the S&P back today. We weren't able to make any significant headway, even though we are looking at a modest gain for the S&P 500 today. Also, we had that consumer confidence data as well. That did rise for the month of June, according to U of Michigan's confidence survey, but not as much as economists had expected. So that is why we are seeing some weakness in consumer discretionary names, your home builders, your retailers. The consumer perhaps still on the cautious side, even though there has been talk of the economy stabilizing as well. I also want to point out we did have some merger news, Carol. Of course, the big deal that we were focused on for most of the day today was BlackRock paying over $6 billion in cash for the rest of Barclays Capital. They didn't know, or rather didn't own, and that's really shaping the money management business. A very interesting story in terms of how other companies will be affected going forward. Of course, Bank of America owns a portion as well. BlackRock, their portion through their Merrill Lynch acquisition will actually go down after this deal, so that's going to be interesting in terms of what's happening with the money managers. But all in all, a fairly busy session here today, even though volume was light news-wise, and we did end the week on a positive note. Carol?
And Suzanne, I do want to point out, busy enough for the Dow to erase its 2009 decline, so it's now up about, it is up 0.3%, so 0.3% for the year. So we did have that happen. Suzanne, before I let you go, you got to bring me up to date on the trading glitch today, because that did happen earlier in the session.
Really, late in the morning, Carol, we did learn that there was a computer failure here with their engine matching system at the New York Stock Exchange. 242 stocks were impacted, including 7 to 8 Dow members. Now, the New York Stock Exchange addressed this immediately, and they were able to get things back and running really about 10 past 12, but it took some time for the trades to resume in those stocks. Now, what was interesting is the stocks still were able to trade elsewhere today, even though there was the limitations here with that computer glitch down here. So they were able to trade on other exchanges. And also the ARCA system here was never down, so that was still operating. So we really did not see any disruption to trading in terms of what we saw in the broader market or with those 200 or so stocks. What we did notice is when there was that disruption, volume, which was light anyways, got even lighter. But again, as soon as the New York Stock Exchange fixed that problem, which took about an hour, and it took about an hour for all the trades to really get back online, we did see volume pick back up to where it closed today, but still light volume, but no real disruption, even though that was a major computer glitch. Carol?
All right, good to know, Suzanne. Thanks so much.